Brought to you by Penguin.
The Junior Officers Reading Club, Killing Time and Fighting Wars. Written and read by Patrick Hennessey. For the world, which seems to lie before us like a land of dreams, so various, so beautiful, so new, hath really neither joy, nor love, nor light, nor certitude, nor peace, nor help for pain. And we are here, as on a darkling plain, swept with confused alarms of struggle and flight, where ignorant armies clash by night. From Dover Beach, by Matthew Arnold. Author's note. One of my favourite army stories was told to me by my first company commander. A team from his anti-tank platoon had been up to some drunken mischief or other, and he was charged with finding the culprits. When interviewed one by one, they all came out with an identical and well-rehearsed story in which they'd been out together and all returned to camp at exactly 23:57, some 10 minutes after the alleged incident had occurred. A timing they all recalled with such precision because each one of them had checked their watches as they came in through the gates. Having heard the same improbable story 5 times, he called them back into his office together and asked them all to read him the time off their watches. Needless to say, no 2 men had the same time, and at least 2 were either half an hour fast or slow. No 2 recollections of an event are the same, especially an event as frantic and emotionally charged as a battle or the loss of a friend. As Anthony Swofford puts it in Jarhead, what follows is neither true nor false, but what I know. The following narrative has been constructed as accurately as possible from emails sent to friends, my diaries and orders notebooks. Occasionally I have turned to colleagues for their recollections of certain incidents, or to official after-action reviews and reports. Some names have been changed. An element of confusion is inevitable, and is, in places, intentional, the only realistic sense of the moment. For the rest, the book is entirely the time as I read it off my own watch. Dedication. In April of 2001, I wrote a letter to my grandfather, also Patrick Hennessey, a retired cavalry officer, veteran of the Normandy landings who finished his long military career in the RAF and who embodied much that was good about his generation of soldiers, asking for his advice on joining the army. I hadn't mentioned the idea to anyone else, and I've always been glad I sought his advice first. He provided good counsel and measured support, knowing that my parents would probably be more dubious, but beneath all of that he was delighted and proud. He died in November of 2002, quickly and quietly from a heart attack and a life of tobacco, red wine and cheese, the perfect death for a soldier with a soldier's hatred of doctors and hospitals. And I'm always caught between happiness and sadness. Happy that he died, knowing that I was following in his footsteps, off to Sandhurst after university, and about to embark upon the life and profession he had found so fulfilling. Sad that he wasn't there, for the parades and the medals and the stories that would follow. 4 years later, I visited my other grandfather, Professor Emrys Jones, for the last time, and brought with me something to show him. It was considered one of the great success stories of the family that my father's father and my mother's father, an awe-inspiring academic, humanist, liberal, and the driving intellectual force in the family, got along so well. One had been in the first wave of duplex-drive Shermans, the swimming tanks that had rolled onto Sword Beach, queasy in the early hours of the 6th of June 1944. The other had driven ambulances through the war, a conscientious objector with quiet and strong conviction. One devoted his life to military service, the other to shaping and improving post-war communities. They were brought together by their children, my parents, smiling and improbably young in photos in front of Durham Cathedral, outside which they had first met as students, glamorous, my father in his naval uniform and my mother in her wedding gown. What must they have thought, these 2 men, being presented in turn with a pad-brat naval aviator for a son-in-law, child of military bases in Germany and Cyprus, up at university with a portrait of the Queen on the walls of his room and anxious to get back in the cockpit, and a
Sample complete. Ready to continue?